Going live. Tom Caldabiano here. Let's see. That is recording. That is recording. Let's bring this down to this screen. StreamYard down there. Hello, everybody. Loves Raymond fans. Tom Caldabiano here on a Sunday. Let me bend this. Endless adjustments and tweaking. Welcome, everybody. We are talking about Everybody Loves Raymond. Let's see, how's everything looking? Good. Let's go up to Instagram. Oh, I think I have to go live. Yes, that. The normal procedures. November. We are in November. It is 85 degrees in Los Angeles. I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay. Yes. Tom Caldabiano here. See, what I'm looking around for, let's see. Where's my phone? Let's see. In the other room. Okay. Hello, everybody. I want to talk about a few things. I do have a package. I have a mystery package that arrived that I have to open in this box. There we go. In this box here. Some of you might be able to guess. I don't know. Hello, everybody. Let's say a couple of hellos. Hi, Paula. Paula, I think we're sending you some things. We're doing some tests. Hello, Thomas. Hello, everybody. Let's see. I have that phone. I have another phone. Okay, hello from Alpharetta, Georgia. Alpharetta, Georgia. Welcome, Tom Caldabiano. We're going to open a package. We're going to look inside the canister and see what treat we have here. There you go, everybody. It's funny because a lot more people see just the feed than they do watching my these lives. And so when they see the picture of the canister, like, oh, the canister, just like, oh, look at this on my desk that I just found. It's just hanging out there. There we go. Locked in the thing. Okay. Well, let's say hello to a bunch of people here. Let's get going. Welcome, everybody. We are all on the same time zone, I believe. The UK, Australia. I don't know what you guys do down there in Australia. Other than Tim Tams. I know some things more than that. Hi, Mona. You're having a snowstorm in Montreal, and it is 85 degrees Fahrenheit here, which seems unfair for us. Have you forgotten about the canister? Yes. So let me see. I have to look up on another screen to see this. We always had sucrets in the house. Okay, yeah. So the sucrets we've talked about in the past. That was in an episode of Raymond. I know you guys are like, yeah, we know, Tom. These were throat lozenges, and they were very not tasty. So unlike the delicious cough drops that came in the future, these felt like you had medicine. And let's see how we can do how much. Let's see what this camera can do. Okay. Tested for germicidal activity. That sounds terrible. Oh, I have things in here. Those are not from the Halloween candy episode, but actually earpieces from the headphones. The headphones from yesteryear. Okay, let's open. I'm going to open this box right now. I picked it up. Wow, I have so much stuff caving. Okay, here we go, folks. Okay. All right, does anybody want to guess what it is? It was shipped, so it's not, I'll give you a clue. It's not something that somebody sent me who worked on the well, they did kind of work on the show. They did 100% work on the show, but it's not from Raymond. It's a new thing. Let me see if anybody can try and guess what is in this box. Hello. Yes. Hello, everybody. Hi, Karen. Hi, Emily. 80 degrees in Florida, where it should be 80 degrees in Florida. Annabelle, you should be getting colder weather there in Connecticut. The taste of sucrets was not worth the pain relief. Yeah, that is true. Okay, does anybody want to guess what is in this box that was delivered to me this week? Let's see, a few more things. Wooden fork and spoon. Well, that's interesting. Now, let's talk about the wooden fork and spoon. Do I have one here? I have one that's just out of reach, I think. One of our refrigerator magnets. So the restaurant, for those of you that have been following, well, here, let me not keep you in suspense. Let me show you what is inside that box. Yes, looking back at these, let's check on Instagram. A better hint than I gave you guys almost no hints other than it was somebody that did work on the show. Okay, I'm just gonna, here we go, folks. It is, okay. It is Phil Rosenthal's new book, which Phil is not a cook. He is, I would say, very close to Deborah in his cooking ability. But this is his new book, which just came out. And now you might be saying, why would anybody want a cookbook from somebody who can't cook? Well, it's just the best recipes that he has accumulated over his 8 seasons. So this is his second book. There is his family. Here, these are some, there's Phil's, sorry, I'm going to reload. What is his obsession with food? Monica Rosenthal. Richard Rosenthal, who has a birthday today. Hard to believe people like him, okay? From his daughter, keep eating whatever you want, just stop dancing. I think I had enough. Ben Rosenthal, that is a quote. Can anybody know that is a quote that was on a blooper of Everybody Loves Raymond? A blooper from Everybody Loves Raymond. The real secret to our happy marriage is that I have no food allergies and I like everything. Are my eggs fluffy? Max Rosenthal. So there you go. Phil Rosenthal's book. There, look at that. What a great photo. I did not take that photo. That is a great photo, and there it is. For those of you who have not seen it, Somebody Feed Phil on Netflix. Here, I'm going to put this over here. You're gonna, if it works successfully, then you won't hear a loud noise. Okay. So when I say Phil worked on the show, you know he was the head writer on the show. I'm going to see what happens if I do. This can't get low enough to be out of frame. That's okay. That is very okay. All right. So off of the thing, Richard Rosenthal's birthday is today, I believe. Richard is Phil's brother, and when we did the Jazz Records episode, which I wrote, which was inspired by my father accusing me of ruining his jazz records, I was trying to figure out the story, and Phil was like, I didn't have a brother, I had a sister. Phil was like, my brother, I hate my brother, and I think we know the theme here on There Was Raymond. Perhaps Robert plays a bigger part than in your life to make the jump from reality to what makes an entertaining sitcom. So that whole thing about getting the Hot Wheels and being jealous, etc., that was very much Phil's contribution to that episode. But happy birthday to Richard Rosenthal, who is occasionally on camera on Phil's show, but produces Phil's show, and is a very, very nice gentleman. Okay, let me just... I don't know if you hear that. I just hit the mic overhead. So whoever edits this will be hearing it. Let's talk about a little bit more. If you've watched Phil on tour, he's done a whole bunch of the TV shows, the circuit, as they say, although the circuit has changed. It used to be the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and the Today Show and some, mainstream stuff. Now there are shows where you eat hot wings. There's podcasts like this, which is technically not a podcast yet. I appreciate a lot of the emails from people saying, please, please, please start a podcast, Tom. Which this effectively is. So, but it's not available as a podcast quite yet. Anyway, and speaking of Johnny Carson, here we go. The original mug that Tony DeSena gave me off of Johnny Carson's desk, a company in Burbank made them, and Tony DeSena was a writer, and he gave that to me, and it is one of my most valued possessions. And I am drinking some British breakfast again, the same, because I really like this Twining's English breakfast tea. As we're doing it, so if you watch Phil's tour of press, he talks about opening a diner called Max and Helen's, which is not technically open yet, but he had a friends and family thing there, and you could go there. So he also had a meeting with all of the writers, all of the Raymond writers, who get together from time to time, and it's exceptionally funny for us to get together, and it's a crime that these very funny people are not making a sitcom, but it seems that the networks are not interested in a sitcom that is traditional as much as they used to. So we went to Max and Helen's, and Phil's father, Max, his whole thing is he likes his eggs fluffy. So if you guys get a chance, I think it's probably opening. My guess is it was supposed to open in May, and then June, July, August, September. So there's always permit problems, etc. My guess is if you visit Los Angeles in December, it will be open by then, 100%. But I will let you know. But Phil's daughter is there as I don't know what her role is, but her husband, newly married Lily Rosenthal, is the chef. So it's under the guidance of Phil and the executive chef, Nancy Silverton, who started La Brea Bakery, who's a famous baker. And one of the reasons why when I bake bread every day, that I had her as my expert consultant. She just didn't know it yet, and I just peppered her with questions. So there you go. That concludes the Phil on tour promoting his book. And I don't know if anybody has seen Phil on tour. I know Gil did, etc. So, and of course, Karen Giacalone ran into Phil and myself in Texas. All right, let's catch up on some comments. Maxine, you're going to need a mug from Max and Helen's. I think they sell that. Can I hear drilling in the background? Yes. You know, I could change that by using only one microphone. Let me see which is this one is. Okay, that's microphone 2. All right, now I'm still recording all the channels, but Karen, because you bring it up, I'm only going to have this microphone. Here, do you hear drilling now? Or do you hear less of it now? Because that is drilling. So there is construction going on right by the studio here. So that is what you're hearing, even though it is a Sunday. So Paula, are the recipes easier to make, or do you need a Michelin star? By the way, what's funny is Michelin stars are not they're for those of you watching in the U.S., which is most of us. Michelin stars are not a big thing in the U.S. They're huge in the U.K. and in Europe, etc. But we're aware of it, but it's really only recently that it's even become a thing. There are simple recipes. In Phil's first book, I think he made peanut butter and banana. But yes, there are very, very simple recipes, a few complicated ones, but it's the favorite recipes of the restaurants that Phil visited. So it's really, really a great collection of recipes. Here, hold on. I do not get any paid promotion for this. Toasted, let me turn. Okay, so here we go. This is sorry, since you asked, there is Phil's brother, Richard. Okay, let's see this. Let's see our next one. Happy birthday, Richard. Yes, very nice. So the reason I paid, yes. Okay, Daniele Uditi's spaghetti alla puttanesca. Okay, that, I believe, puttanesca is a prostitute. I think, check me, my Italian friends. Daniele Uditi has a place called Pizzana in Los Angeles. But there you go. That's a lot of ingredients and very simple to make, I'm sure. I will make that. It's one of my favorite sauces is Puttanesca. Okay, I'm looking. So there's Mace. Well, here you go. There's a lot in the upcoming special about family. And here is I believe that's on the back. There's Phil in his kitchen. That's his son. That's Lily. That's Monica. And that is Mason, the chef, new husband of Lily. Okay, so there you go. I hope, Paula, that answers your question. I'm leafing through, obviously, the first time I'm seeing it. Let's see. Phil's mother did make matzo ball soup. I think you can look online and see where Daniel Balou, French chef, comes over to their apartment in New York City and makes matzo ball soup with them. Okay. The special. Let's talk about the special a little bit. Still November 24th on CBS, Paramount Plus. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Karen, putana means prostitute, and puttanesca means style of a whore. This from Bob Giacalone, yes, from my Sicilian husband. So he's qualified to say that. So, yes, and I'm sorry for those of you that thought there was some clean meeting about puttanesca, but it is delicious, and as far as I know, it's made with a lot of ingredients that you can have in your cupboard, so you don't have to go, places. Oh, why did I lose my camera? That's interesting. Very interesting. No. Okay, close that. All right, bear with me, folks. Let's do this. And I close this. Wow. Let's see. I don't know. It's so interesting. All right. I think we have our camera still. Let me just check this. Bear with me, folks. Live. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. And let's see. That is still there. Image is still there. So interesting. Very interesting, everybody. Michelin got some publicity and from Hulu and the show. Okay. Are you guys seeing me still? Because I don't see me. Let's see if we... Okay, add to stage. Boy. Okay. Let's see this. All right, Tom Caltabiano here. Don't worry, folks. Yes, it's not the drilling workman. I've never seen that before. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Try this. Go to camera. That, for some reason, that will be dark. Oh, yeah, so it's not this. So it's not that. I don't know, folks. Let's do this. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's a little icon that has the camera, and now I am back. But you know what? You don't need to see me. Okay, yes. Sorry. It's still... I feel bad. Yes. Sorry that the Blue Jays lost. So again, for those of you that didn't see me last week, the Blue Jays lost to Los Angeles Dodgers, and it was one of the greatest Game 7s in the history of the World Series baseball here. And there were many opportunities for the Toronto Blue Jays to win. And the Toronto Blue Jays, unlike the dreaded Yankees, are not hated. The Toronto Blue Jays and Canada in general, I'd say, is a welcome team of very polite people. And so just for those of you in the UK and elsewhere who aren't familiar, Canadians have an incredible reputation of being the friendliest, nicest people on the planet, etc. So nobody, I would say, wishes ill to the Toronto Blue Jays, including the Los Angeles Dodgers. But it was a nail-biter, and it will be a studied game for ever, and you see all these highlights, and that's why it was a nail biter going back and forth. And so I'm so sorry, everybody in Toronto, that you didn't win. Okay, so Phil's book, Phil's Cooking, the TV special, November 24th. I do know that a lot of my photos will be in the special. It's a lot of surprises that I don't think you will be able to predict. Some footage that you've never seen before, some photos that you've never seen before. I had to pull out here for those of you on the inside. I think this is, as you know, all of my photos are in notebooks. Don't worry, it'll focus, folks. There we go. Negatives used in book. Okay, this is the entire Raymond book, and just the negatives. So every single page of the book had to be pulled and put into one place and then sent to the printer in China, which made me very nervous. This was 2004. So there you go. That's just that's one page of that. And I am looking for one photo that is mine. And I went to the proof sheet. Do I have the proof sheets here? I don't think so. One photo that is mine, and I found the proof sheet, and I found all the negatives, but it was missing the one negative strip of the one photo that I need. So after I finish this live, I will be looking through that. And also, let me reach here on my desk. Here we go. There's the Advantix system, and a lot of the photos are on that. Our friend Raymond gave me a camera, gave a lot of people this camera, and that is the film roll right there called, it's Kodak Advantix, it's APS-C, I think it is, but it takes a special scanner, and scanning film was not popular. So this, I think I've shown you on the inside, you would get the roll of film, and then you would pick these up, and some of the photos that are needed. Okay, here we are. Here's Tom eating at SNL. That's me eating at SNL. How do I know it's me eating at SNL? Well, I know it's me, but also it's labeled SNL. So let me see this. Pictures of lenses, pictures of equipment. So here we go. Here's how you know it's SNL. I was not planning on going through that, but I have to find. So what has happened is there's photos being sent to me by producers who are like, hey, we need this photo. And so then, as you guys know, my photos are exquisitely organized, and I can find them instantly unless it's APS, because APS is on those rolls, and so I can't look at those negatives, so I just have to look at the envelope. So here we go. Here's how you know it is SNL. There is me and some other guy who was in the cast. So this is when Raymond hosted SNL, and I was there. And he was there also. This is probably the most non-necessary thing to say, funny gentleman, and very unassuming and very just a joy to work with and write sketches for. All right. So there you go. So I'm looking like mad. So the TV special, November 24th, CBS, and I hear Paramount Plus. I don't know what that means, and I'll get you all the information. I know what Paramount Plus means. I don't know whether it's going to air live on CBS, on network television here, and then it ends up airing, or you can stream it always afterwards, because I know we talked about having a watch party, but I feel like I'd much rather everybody enjoy it, watch the show themselves, and then we have a watch party afterwards, maybe a couple days, maybe a week later, something like that. That would be very nice, because I think you want to be able to focus on the show and not people commenting and talking. So we'll figure out the logistics of how to do a watch party after the original airing of the episode. Okay, so here I'm going to put this back, even though it's not feeding to your guys' sound. Okay, let's catch up. Hi, Carol Nixon. Yes, you used Advantix before. Great wide-angle lenses, wide-angle shots. Yes, they would give you these kind of panoramics, which were actually, when you look at them, are kind of they're a forced. I don't want to get into the weeds. Yes, a very cool small camera. People in the UK and other places in the world. Yes, Mona. Will the 90-minute special ever be put on YouTube? For those that are not able to watch on CBS or Paramount, do you not get CBS? Is that not a feed into Montreal? So my guess is no, it won't be on YouTube because they're spending a lot of money on this special, and YouTube is probably not, unless CBS has an outlet. In other words, they're going to. Sorry, Mona. I know how much. Things are tight for people, and also one of the things about the streaming services is you're like, I'm going to spend $200 a month to watch the shows on disparate places. So, but that's how they make money, and that's how they're figuring it out. So chances are, mark my words, it will not be on YouTube free, at least for any time soon. Let me see. Let's see. Yes, November 24th. Yes, okay. Oh, I see, Mona. You're asking for other people. All right, watch party afterwards. Yes, I'll find out on the international airing rights. It's a very, very good question. It's a very, very good question. Okay, so that's special. We'll figure out the best day. Do you want to do a watch party on Sunday when we do it? I don't know. Here's one of the things that I did want to do today. I read a lot of myths about Every Brothers Raymond, and I would like to. I'll do a whole show just about dispelling myths, and I've touched about them. But if you guys have any rumor that you have heard or read, and you want to send it to me, I will shed some light on it. And one of the things that I touched upon briefly is that Patricia Heaton and Peter Boyle did not get along because they were politically opposed. And I never, ever saw that. So I don't think it happened. You know, do I know everything that went on the show? Absolutely not. Does Phil or Ray or, you know, the head of construction or there is no human being on the planet who knew everything that went on with the show. But Patty and Peter got along swimmingly, and there was really nobody on the show who, quote unquote, didn't get along. Now, having said that, and for those of you that follow me every week, there would be heated debates between Patty and Doris Roberts. Doris Roberts was not not shrinking. Now she wasn't her character, but she was definitely happy to get into discussion. So it wasn't like there was this Marie and Deborah passive aggressive terribleness, but they would definitely go at it more in debate. And also, I have to remind people, or not, for those of you of a certain age, you know this. There was a time when you could talk politics without thinking the other person is terrible. They just disagreed with you on politics. I don't know if we're going to get back to those days, but you could say, I disagree on this, I disagree on that, and then go to lunch together. All right, let me take a break here, because then I do want to talk about, hold on. Okay, here we go. Quote smug. There we go. I can't talk. There's too much fruit in the house. All right, here we go. By the way, I'm going to start having more guests on again because I have been exceptionally busy with so many different things, and I look forward to them. Complex Drive. Hopefully the watch party can be at Max and Helen's. Yes, that would be nice, although Max and Helen's is a very, very small place. And also, by the way, I want to hear more. Okay, I'm scrolling back through Instagram. Yes, Marie called Angelina a pizza parlor putana. Very good. Very good. Awesome. And thank you, Joe. Yes, the focus has never been better. This is the Sony FX30 with a 35 millimeter 1.4 lens for those following along at home, but I'm absolutely loving it. Okay, so I do want to, because my friend drove these for me, I do want to do my tasting of, so here we go. Everybody, the canister, okay, come on, canister, focus. There we go. The canister, which was, I think there were 4 of them made, 5 of them made, something like that. David Regal wrote the episode. Steve Scrovan, I know, brought him in and helped him with the episode. Rhonda Robinson, our head of props, lent me this episode for a week, and I've had it for 2 years, I think, etc. Every week I taste cookies in honor of Jeremy Stevens, our beloved writer, who was of the mind that Hydrox were better than Oreos. Okay, so this here is, okay, yes. So my friend Chris brought this for me. We grew up together. So here, never seen this in my life. The Alibaba. Okay, let me hold it steady so no one gets seasick. The Alibaba. When is the expiration, folks? Who knows? 2025. It looks good. Okay. Milk chocolate wafers. Okay, there you go. See if I can peel this down. What did we decide? Oh, we learned last week, if you learned nothing else, in Australia and New Zealand, they have a health rating, which Annabelle spotted. Okay, yeah, so there's no more information so much on the back there. Made in Amman, Jordan. So there's probably, if you're getting your chocolate from Amman, Jordan, you might want to keep another supply handy. Okay, so here we go. Has anybody seen this ever? I'm going to guess no. Let me see. Has anybody ever seen this? Okay. Sorry, but that's me looking down. Okay, here we go. Oh, did I remember a napkin? Yes, I remembered a napkin. How good is that? Okay, because it is, after all, folks, 86 degrees Fahrenheit here in Los Angeles, which is warm. Okay, I'm going to touch her like this, get my head out of there, and then bingo. There you go, folks. That is as a chocolate-covered wafer should look. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, now the job of tasting it. Okay, here we go. By the way, have I tasted anything that's bad on this review? I mean, I am tasting cookies, so it's not like, what Phil does, which is taste everything under the sun. So I think the only thing that caught me by surprise was the licorice, right? The licorice caught me a little bit by surprise. All right, here we go. One more bite, folks. I should probably wear chocolate-colored shirts. All right, where's my napkin? Here it is. Really tasty. 7.1 I gave it. A 7.1. They do a good job. Okay, what are the comparables to a chocolate wafer? It's not that filling either. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that. What is a comparable UK biscuit? Or a United States biscuit, or an Australian biscuit to what I just ate? Gil, you have been to Amman, Jordan. I think I might have been to Amman, Jordan. No, I think my luggage went there, but I didn't. Ah, yes. Okay, Karen. Sorry, I should be reading it as people listen to me chewing. Yes. Well, the Tunnocks, however you pronounce the tea cake thing, wasn't good. I seem to remember. Excellent memory, Karen. Yeah, it was a little dry, and I think you thought, or people thought that maybe I got an old, some. I'm willing to try that again. Gil, where did you go with Iman Jordan? How is that? Okay, Carol, you know what? Carol Nicholson, the Kit Kat. You are correct. How obvious, and how do I not think of that? The Kit Kat bar is 100% like that. Anne Marie, what is the highest score you've given so far? I don't remember. A blue ribbon chocolate wafer is similar into UK. I don't think I've ever seen that. Oh, sorry, blue rye band, or I guess that's how you would pronounce it. It looks Tim Tam-ish. Is the chocolate good, or does it taste different? So it's good. The Tim Tam is very much in a league of its own, I would say. So it's a much more chocolatey, denser, flavorful. The Tim Tam is. So this is a light, and again, I don't criticize. It is its own thing. So you can't compare everything to a Tim Tam, or what for my UK friends. Where did they steal the Tim Tam from? Is it Penguins? I don't know. I should know much more for having tasted it. Yes, we will do that spreadsheet. But yeah, I wouldn't think of Tim Tam right away. You were flying to Delhi via Jordan. Okay. Gil, so did you get out of the plane, or did you go to the gift shop at all? Yes, that would make sense. Okay. Another Everybody Loves Raymond myth. Now, I will do a whole show dedicated to this and go in deep into all of the details about it. Let me see. What was another thing that often comes up? Well, one of the things that comes up, and I will talk about it, and I have in the past, is that Paul Reubens was replaced because Ray Romano was outraged about what happened to him, and that is 100% not true in any way. Paul Reubens was cast. Phil thought he was great in his role as Russell. He was great in his role. The following year, Phil needed him to be in like 4 episodes. Well, as many episodes as you saw Chris Elliott appearing in. And Paul Reubens was not able to make the table read. And Phil was like, okay. And for those of you that don't know, the beginning of the week is the table read. And if there's subsequent shows that have to be in order, for example, Robert has to ask permission to marry, and Chris is in it, and the brother is in it, you can't not have the brother in that. So that is one myth, and it's never going to go away. It's interesting because I read it so often, just like, so that's that. That concludes that. Phil tried to keep him in the show, and just the timing didn't work out. And I think Chris Elliott is brilliant. And you're never going to end the argument between who is the better brother, or who was the better brother. Another myth, it just went into my head and went out about the show. Robert, Raymond, let's see, those are the characters. Well, it'll come back to me. Let me talk now about Long Island, the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment, the Hall of Fame. Limehoff is the acronym. They are opening an Everett Raymond exhibit on November 28th. And they have a lot of surprises in store. For those of you that I know, for those of you in Ohio, you're like, how about Ohio? And I say, yes, how about Ohio? But for those of you that are in the New York area, didn't make it to the Paley Media Center exhibit of Everett Raymond, it will be opening in Long Island, at Stony Brook, on Stony Brook. Big debates about Long Island, everybody. Everett Raymond, the show took place in Lynbrook, Long Island. So that opens November 28th. I think there's going to be some type of opening ceremony at some point. I don't know if I will be there. I will certainly let you guys know. But it will be fantastic and the biggest ever exhibit of Everybody Loves Raymond that you've ever seen. And so there's so many secrets in store and surprises in store for you. And they have an amazing creative design team there. So just mark that in your calendar. Ah, yes. Here's another one, another myth that Patricia Heaton dropped the turkey in rehearsal and the producers kept it in. Or as I see being read, they just went with it. So, and I guess, I don't know, and I talked about this when we were at the Paley Center, it's this weird thing where the public wants to think that the actors made up and ad-libbed a lot of stuff, and they just couldn't, and I've explained this many times, just because of all the logistics. So, for example, here's one that did happen. Patricia Heaton in the Bird episode put that hat on backwards in rehearsal, and they thought, oh, that's funny, let's keep that in. So that can happen during the week, those type of things, but you can't really have an episode where it's just too much logistics. So the thing that you're hearing from me that I think people are bothered by is it's not that the actors aren't brilliant and couldn't make things up. It's just that at that point of the production, during filming, you just can't really have anything big happen because the cameras are going to go like, what is my next move? Because the cameras, just like, you know how the actors have to hit their marks, the cameras also have to hit their marks. And when you're in editing and watching, you'll be like, oh, you know, Phil might be like, why aren't we on Frank at the door? Oh, because X cam didn't come over fast enough. And so you were catching him after Frank starts his line. And so if you all of a sudden had all these rogue things happening, it would be a cataclysmic domino effect of terrible. Yes. Okay, let me scroll down and catch up on a couple of answers. Love the turkey scene. Yes. A low 8. Yes. Hi, Janet. I think you gave something a low 8, but can't remember what it was. Something like a honeycomb brittle center, something like that. Yeah. I just have to, folks, I want to follow me around with a camera all day. Not because I'm that interesting, but just the amount of different things that I'm trying to catch up on and do. And I kind of want to, I wish I could do this exclusively 100% along with the children's educational thing I do. But forces pull me in many different directions. And that's a long-winded way of saying I will collect all the scores and we will catch up and we will be able to look up very quickly what that high score was. Hi, Ellen. So she dropped this turkey per the script. It was hysterical. We cooks feel that way when we shove the turkey in the oven. Yes. Yes, Ellen. And it's funny because those of you like Leo, who's been listening. Oh, Leo, you made a comment and I missed it way up front. I just heard the beginning of it. So, yes, that was in the script, 100%. Patricia Heaton has to execute it perfectly. So that's the part where you're like, yes, the thing that says, go be funny with a turkey is different than, she drops it a couple times. But with the way Patty did it, it was hysterical. Hello, Annabelle. Let's bring that up. Okay, stay in there. Will there be any press events in LA or New York ahead of the airing on the 24th? Is there some kind of red carpet premiere event? So there's an event. There's going to be the short answer is yes. There will be something not in New York City at Stony Brook. I don't know how much press will be there because it's also right around the time of the reunion airing on November 24th on CBS and Paramount Plus. So I don't know what the cast is doing for that versus Long Island. But yeah, there will be something, but I don't know what that is going to be. Okay, Leo, let me go back and see if I can find your comment. And again, that's one thing that I say, everybody, if you answer a question and I seem to be ignoring it, you can write it again because I have to do a lot of things, including scrolling. Hi, Karen. Now you tell me. I have not seen that cookie before, but it looks like it expired May of 2025. We will find out, won't we? if I'm not here next Sunday, then I'm sorry, I cannot send any heat to Toronto. Maggie Wheeler was supposed to be Deborah, but she wasn't picked because she. Okay, Alec. Okay, that's a great one. Myth, excellent. I love that. Maggie Wheeler, who played Linda on Everett Raymond and Janice on Friends, was supposed to be Deborah, but she wasn't picked because she was recurring as Janice on Friends. Myth, question mark. Thank you, Alexander Joseph. Two first names. Two good first names. So that is a myth. That is not true. Maggie Wheeler was in the running for Deborah. Ray loved her as Deborah. Phil loved her as Deborah. This was before Patricia Heaton came in and read. So they brought, and Maggie sat here as a guest and told this story. So you can, if you can trust her, then you can trust this story. So they liked her. Phil and Ray loved her. And so the network said no. And Maggie was such a magnanimous person that Phil and Ray were like, hey, can you just come in and read for the network even though they don't want you, which is hard to hear, but you're how we want the character to be played. And then Patricia Heaton walked in and they were like, yeah, okay, she's great. Because the truth is Maggie is, usually you can work out a contract. The Friends producers might have been like, oh no, she is Janice and you don't have her, in which case it would be a dilemma. But it happens all the time where someone's in first position and second position. And it's weird because there's this frenzy of activity and most actors are unemployed all the time. And then all of a sudden there's like, we have a bidding war for you. And then they both go away or something like that. So Maggie Wheeler, my personal feeling is she's a great actress and she's, I would call her a friend, but she would have brought a different energy, like a more ethnic energy than Deborah. And Deborah, one of the things that was good was how civil and sophisticated her parents were and how she seemed so sophisticated. And yet, Ray's family was not, as we saw in... Meet the parents? No. In the in-laws, because there's the fighting in-laws. Did any of the original canisters become damaged during the film? They took quite a beating, so I was just wondering. Yes, Karen, excellent question. No. And hopefully you get to hold the canister someday. It is really incredibly, I mean, it is built like a tank. Like, I really think it would be so hard to dent this. I mean... It's really solid. You have to take my word for it. If you remember, Karen, the what are those crackers? The saltines. If you remember, you used to be able to get saltines in a tin, an aluminum tin. Those tins are like 1/2 the thickness of this steel thing. So there you go. Yeah, sorry. I heard she was too ethnic. Who knows what's in the mind of but, I mean, she is more ethnic as far as, like, Deborah's character is more hoity-toity Connecticut, and Maggie does not come across as that. So, who knows? Too similar to Raymond, etc. Okay, let me. Yes, Saltines, Mona. Saltines. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's do this before... Look at the time flying. I got to see which episodes here. Did I do this episode already? No, I don't think so. Okay, so for those of you who've never seen before, Tom Caltabiano, I was a writer on Everett Raymond, but I also saved from the dumpster 209 episodes of the wardrobe department scripts. See, feels like there's no pictures in here, but there are. And so what I've been doing lately is see if people can guess the episode based on the wardrobe photos. Now, some of them are a dead giveaway, like Halloween candy is a dead giveaway because you see Frank dressed as Frankenstein. But I feel like I might have did I do this episode already? We're about to find out. It's okay if we don't. That's why I do need spreadsheets. Hold on, let me look at this other episode to see if it rings a bell here. This one I think we might have, but either way, for those of you that have never seen this before, you have an opportunity to guess. Okay, so I try, a lot of if I just showed Frank's outfits other than Halloween candy, very hard to guess the episode because he dresses the same as does Raymond. For example, there is Raymond. I hope that, yes, some of you don't get seasick. All right, there we go. I turned my other mic on in case I drift away from this one. There we go. There is Raymond. You're not going to guess it from that. If you do, you deserve an award, and you could be an expert consultant. Yeah, I feel like maybe we have seen this one, but let's just do it. Let's just do it. I'm going to commit. My head has to be out, and then... Okay, there we go. Deborah. Let's see. So much has gone on. Here we go, folks. Marie and Frank. Let's see. Has anybody guessed it yet? Let's go up to Instagram, which I have neglected. Instagram. Did Phil and Ray know who they wanted to play characters, and did they go through a casting company? Excellent, Rebecca. I remember speculation fans thought Ray and Deborah would divorce in the last season. Well, that would be terrible. Didn't they do that, something like that on The King of Queens? I am off topic. Where can I find your sourdough bread recipe? Hi, Robin. Do you feel an episode could have been done live? No, Joe. That is a great question. Do I think an episode could have been done live? Absolutely 100% no. The amount of time spent in editing is astounding. So could you have filmed an episode live? Yeah. Would it have been not the best episode? Yep, because so much. I mean, I just remember you would play an episode in front of the live audience. They would see an unaired episode, and they would be watching, and we would be watching, and we go, oh, we made 3 more cuts that they're not seeing. And it was so excruciatingly painful to see, and it might be 7 seconds that we cut out and went faster here. So when you do a live episode, you don't have that luxury. So yes, could, with enough planning, we have pulled off a live episode? Yes, but you would have no idea how much editing makes everything better. Alone time, Humvac. Okay, Linda, Marie's eyeglasses. Yes. Okay, wow. Hi, Michael Osman. Stand in on Raymond. You should come on and join me sometime, unless you are camera shy. Okay. We have guests of Humvac. Now I am confident in my answer because Annabelle agrees with you. Yeah. Okay. The episode. Here we go. A couple more photos. I think we've shown this before. In fairness, there's Raymond, Marie. I'm catching up. Sorry, folks. Okay. Here we go. Brad Garrett. Madeline Sweeten doing a funny pose. Again, Brad Garrett, NYPD sweatshirt, his NYPD sweatshirt. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Okay. Yes, we have this. Here's the end. The Mailman and the twins. Okay, so yes, everybody, congratulations. And again, I apologize if you saw it before, but here I'll just turn to a page. And there we go, Alone Time. Everybody loves Raymond, Alone Time. You can see Ray's lines there. There you go. Alone Time, congratulations. I will post those pictures. All right, final questions, everybody. And when after the special airs, I will be able to tell a lot of stories and share pictures, but I'm forbidden to share pictures now until it airs. So let me see. Okay, let's do this. Let me take another sip from my folks. You know, I work with a lot of young people, and they don't know who that gentleman is, which is very hard to believe. They have no clue who that gentleman is. Okay. Excellent questions there. Yes, let's catch up on our questions before we bid you farewell. I like the relationship between Ray and Deborah in the early seasons, but Frank and Marie later on. It's very interesting. Yes. So Annabelle, yes, this week we will be doing the Christmas ornament, the 2025 Christmas ornament. We have to take a vote on it, and then we will offer it up. It's one of our most popular sellers, by the way. Hi, Carol. Yes, ER did an East Coast and a West Coast live episode when Clooney was still on it. Yes, I remember there was a big to-do. But the truth is, so much of a show is made in editing, which you will. Let's see. Okay, Mona. This is totally off topic, but not really. But if anybody ever loved Golden Girls, on Tuesday night on ABC, they're going to have the Golden Girls 40 Years of Laughter. I just thought I'd throw that in. Thank you, Mona. I just recently went to a Paley exhibit event. You finally got one right. I just didn't know the title of the episode. I needed my trusty assistant. Yes, there you go. Congratulations. Love the show. Call me Mom. I love her hair. I love how she did it. I love the whole episode. So, Mona, when you say her hair, are you talking about Deborah's hair? Which I would assume that is the case. Okay. Let's go over to here. If you saw my question, but what is your, hi, ES small _ I don't know if you saw my question, but what was your favorite cookie or wafer and why? So far, I'm a sucker for the Jammy Dodger, and then the Tim Tam dark chocolate mint, I think it is spectacular. There's nothing I've eaten that wasn't good other than the licorice one took me by surprise. Almost knocked me out of my chair. What did I have last week? The crumble, the rough from New Zealand. That was phenomenal and completely unique. Let's see. Yes. Okay, let me scroll down here. You love Deborah's hair. Deborah's hair in that episode of Call Me Mom, which would be good. And so, by the way, Annabelle, for the Christmas, let me do that. For the Christmas ornament, for those of you that don't know, I don't have my phone handy, but we have Christmas ornaments from every year available, and I think we're going to make a lot of them available without the year. Just as a generic Christmas ornament. I think we have a picture of Peter Boyle in the Santa hat. We have a Jazz Records one. We have two Jazz Records ones. We couldn't figure it out. We have the wreath from All I Want for Christmas. We usually hang ours on the door. So if you have any suggestions for the next year's, which I think we will do the vote this week so we can get them to everybody in Christmas on time. And by the way, thank you everybody who's ordering forks and spoons. I know a shipment just went out, so you will get those shortly. Let me see this, catching up. You work with, hi Robin, you work with someone who doesn't know I Love Lucy. Yeah, I don't know. There's a point, there's the normal magnitude of fame, and then there's the point where just people don't know something. So once you're at Mozart or the Beatles level, then it's just a matter of not finding out about them yet. It's interesting to say. Did Ray and Phil, hi Rebecca Frank 23, did Ray and Phil know who they wanted to play characters? And did they go through a casting company? Yes. So Lisa Miller Katz was the casting agent. She was the head of casting for Ever's Raymond for the entire series. I think Phil had people in his mind. Peter Boyle was not in his mind. He just became available, and the head of CBS said, Peter Boyle's available, so guess who we're going to use for the father? And everybody was thrilled. Doris Roberts came in. I think, Doris and the mother and the wife role were the hardest to cast. Doris came in. I think they saw 200 women. They saw a ton of women before they got to Doris and Patty. And what generally happens, because you're in on casting, I've been on a lot of casting, very seldom do you have two people who you're like, they're unbelievable and almost identical. Usually when the person nails it, they nail it. They embody it. And so I think that happened with like Jason Alexander, who is George Costanza, et cetera. So that's kind of the way it goes. You just haven't seen the right person yet, and you want the person to come in and hit a home run. And you know, like, wow, they really brought the script alive. So, Rebecca Frank, I hope that answers your question. Hi, Meredith. No chance of Ray or Patty coming to the Brothers Raymond exhibit in Stony Brook to do autographs? I would say there's always a chance. Is there a chance they come for the opening? That might be tough. But I don't know. You know, Patty travels, etc. It's just, you know, it's around Thanksgiving week. So that's a really tough one. But if they ever come out, I'm sure that Stony Brook will make sure that you know that there is no mystery on their appearance. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much for all of your questions. I do enjoy when you answer for other people who you know the answer and you jump in. I really, really appreciate it. I know I say that a lot. Karen Kraft Giacalone. There were a couple of episodes where Deborah had weird bangs. It almost looked as though she had cut it herself, but thankfully it didn't last, and she went back to looking fabulous again very soon thereafter. So, Karen, that's not an insult. I know what you're saying. I agree with you. I feel like we should have Ralph Abelos on. Ralph, of course, I posted a picture of Ralph from the last season. We should talk about that. That's the last thing I'm going to talk about today. Let me see if I can bring it up on this mystery phone. Another phone, not my phone. So Ralph, I posted a picture, and it's Ralph kissing Monica during the filming of the last episode. Now, everybody was sad. It was the last episode, and we knew that we're probably not going to see each other again for a very long time. So okay, I can't sign on to Instagram on this phone. That was going to be a very sad day. And so I think Ralph was showing his affection for Monica. But I don't think Ralph's husband was jealous. I don't know that Phil Rosenthal was jealous. Patty's in the foreground of that picture getting makeup applied, probably by Shelley Woodhouse Collins. And so, yes, that was a moment of, just there were a lot of tears that day as we were going through it. So, okay, so let me see, Eileen. Just as possible for young people not knowing who Johnny Carson, it could be just like my not knowing who the comedian was in last night's Saturday Night Live. Who was the comedian, Ellen? Yes, 100%. You can't know everything all the time. The weirder, more difficult thing for us to comprehend is a new comedian is new. I know that's like an obvious statement. And then you have somebody who was on air for 30 years. And you think, wow, you have a chance to know who he is. But yes, of course, that does apply, and you can't know everything new. All right. Thank you for that comment. Everybody, have a good week. Thank you for all of your comments. We did hit 65,000 followers, so thank you very much for spreading the word and telling people. This is kind of the only official Everybody Loves Raymond site run by somebody who worked on the show. There's a lot of misinformation that I see on the other sites, and I am told about it. I generally don't comment. Every once in a while, I comment. But I do appreciate you guys pointing out when my photos are taken and posted without any credit. And the weird thing is sometimes they take my words and put it there as if they're writing it. And they put my words on different photos, which is even more interesting. All right. See you guys next week. So much more to share. You're going to start seeing a lot of posts from me coming up to promote that TV special. Don't forget to tell all of your friends also, and we'll plan that watch party. Okay. Have a good week, everybody.